So, one, two, three. So, we're live. Hey everyone.
Nice.
Today I'm here with my friend Pramod Jayswal. Yes, and I'm going to ask him to share his own personal story of how did he prepared himself for a job in different tech companies and what was his journey. So today's video is about his own personal journey through uh, the self-learning experience of learning algorithms and how did he crack the interviews and all those nitty-gritty things of interview preparations. Yes. So Pramod, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Pramod Jayswal. I have been working as a software engineer from 6+ years as a backend engineer, mostly in Java technology stack. Um, and very recently I started to explore new opportunity to find a better job in some good tech companies, including startups and companies like Amazon, Facebook. Um, so I'll just give you a little bit overview of how much time I spend until I got my first offer.
So
So
before we do that, yes, let me just ask you one question. Do you like the coding?
oh, I love
You
it.
love it? Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe say something. What do you love about it? Yes.
I mean, I think every single person
Mm-hmm.
wants to feel something creative in their life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and being a programmer, just writing the code gives a sense of being creative,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you are creating something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like solving any problem, and you are trying to do something. It's not like usually there are two parts, two ways people spend their time. Either you consume something or you create something.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I feel like writing code is creating,
Yeah. Yes.
but
Yes.
I mean, depends. Some people may define you are consuming, but I feel like for me, it's more like a creative process.
Agree. Totally agree. Yes. So
Yeah.
you are writing an application. Yes. Yes. 2 days ago, I found out one someone quoted something on a Twitter saying that we should stop introducing ourselves as, oh, I'm a Pramod and I work at this company. Yes. You should start saying that, hi, I'm a Pramod and I solve your trade settlements when you try to book something on Robinhood. Yes. So that would be a better intro, and
Right,
it
right,
will it will be like, oh, this is a creative person. He solves
right,
my real problems in the real world.
right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So why don't you tell audience that why did you start looking the job, and when did you thought about it and your entire journey?
Yeah, I mean, one of the question interviewer usually asks when you go for a job interview, why are you trying to find a new job? What's in? So my standard answer is like what I really feel like, right? So in Apex, um,
Well, tell the audience you work for the Apex. They don't know what is Apex. Yeah.
yeah, so Apex clearing is like clearing and custody business. So if you're familiar with Robinhood, Robinhood used to be Apex customer until end of 2019, until they became self-clearing. So Robinhood was more like a introducing broker. So they are the one who are introducing their platform to end users so that they can open the account, buy and sell stuff. But ultimately, everything is happening on Apex backend. Whether you move your money, whether your securities are holding on some account, everything is being custodied at Apex. So
Yes.
there is a custody part because all the assets that you own under your Robinhood account is being held at Apex.
Yes. That's
Your
good.
money is being held at Apex. So Apex is the
Yeah.
custody.
Yes.
Clearing that every kind of transaction you do that has to settle somewhere. So Apex takes care of that. But even now, Robinhood is not one of the Apex customer right now. They used to be a very big customer back in 2019, but there are other big customers like Webull, SoFi, Stas, M1 Finance. They are like really big names in the retail trading space.
Yes.
So yeah, so I joined Apex almost 6 years back on the cash management platform. So basically, if you think about your Robinhood customer, you want to move money from your bank account to your Robinhood account and vice versa, right? So the money movement part of what I handle like 6 years.
Yes.
During that period when I was working, Robinhood used to be our big customer, and there was like tremendous, like huge growth cycle, right? So and with that growth, I had really good opportunity to learn standard software engineering stuff. Like with growth comes a lot of problems,
Yes.
performance issues, bottlenecks, so many interesting stuff. So I went through a lot of that. I have so many scars, the production issues and complex. So the real kind of problem with that, whatever kind of problem comes, you start using your computer science background, like threads, deadlocks, starvation, all those kind of stuff you can see and you can use it. So I got really good opportunity there. And over the 6 years of my time at Apex, I think I have had really good journey. But it's 6 years and it feels like an eternity.
Yes.
Working at the same company. So I think it's a good time to just explore some new opportunity.
More than half a decade, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
My whole career I have spent at Apex. So.
Yes.
But one good thing, I can always talk about, okay, Robinhood, you use Robinhood.
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you moved money, it had to go through the lines of code I wrote. Definitely, I can
Definitely.
say. Even if you're probably Webull or M1 Finance customer, pretty sure your activities probably being done by somewhere my code. So
yes,
that sense gives me a really good
So any of you watching, if you guys have the Robinhood or SoFi accounts, just remember Pramod wrote the code behind the scenes. Yes, he's the one who is actually moving the money.
Just your money movement part. I wrote like majority of code on that part, your money movement part.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean that's why I'm exploring new opportunity. Yeah.
So now let's get to the part. Yes, what do we do? Most of the people like you and me will have a first hurdle or first battle to be fought. Start preparing for it. Yes. Why don't you tell the audience that what happens first of all? How anyone who hasn't heard about the process of a big tech companies, and just educate them that how many interviews they take and what does it take and what you have to do to actually qualify for them.
Right. That's yes, interesting stuff to talk about. So I'll just start with anyone. I think I'll just talk around people with my kind of place.
Yes.
People who have been, whether you are coming out of college or maybe you have worked at the same company for a long period of time and you have lost your touch with your computer science background. Now you want to go and crack some good company interviews. How do you really approach it?
Yes.
So couple of things. So if you are trying to approach this kind of company, so you have to think about companies, those who are interested to hire people who are a problem solver, right? So there are these kind of companies who want to hire like people who don't care about which programming language your background is from, right? They just want to make sure these guys, if I give some problem, they can figure it out. So these are like one set of company. Another set of companies that who are really interested into your experience, like what kind of technology you use, and that's how they hire. They will ask you question related to the technology you work in, right? But the sorts. So I was interested into this problem solving kind of category of companies, right? So there are startups in that categories, big tech companies, really good tech companies. So problem solving in computer science, problem solving starts with algorithm, right? So solving simple problem like sorting, like how do you given given a list of numbers, how do you sort it? Like given a number, how do you search a given number in an array? Very simple things like that. You have to start doing that. So I mean, I really had a strong background in algorithms when I was college. I feel like okay, so I didn't have to go back and read the concepts. I think I remembered it really well, the basic computer science algorithms. So I just went ahead, and there is a website called leadcode.com where you can go and they have like really nice set of questions, and they categorize based on like which company has asked this question, whether it is easy, medium, super hard, and also there are topic like which topic of the algorithm this question relates to, right? So you can, like as a practitioner, You can choose all different way you can practice. Like let's say you choose a topic, you go to that topic and select all those questions, and then you practice with that topic. That way you clear a topic, right? Or maybe you're interested in a company, right? Let's say you want to crack Amazon interview, you go to that website and look at the questions that are asked in Amazon, you practice them. So the way interviews are done in most of the companies, it's not like for every single interview they will invent new questions, right? They have a set of questions. They usually try to repeat or similar kind of questions. So it's always good idea to practice similar kind of question they have asked if you're targeting a company. So first thing first, you have to go back to basics. Look at what are the basic algorithms and data structures. So a couple of things that just comes into my mind, I think everyone should know, is like sorting algorithm, search algorithm,
string manipulations.
Yes, string manipulations, and I think these are the most common. And then from the data structures point of view, you should know how list work in whatever programming language you are working, how map, if you're in Java kind of language, you'll use map, and in Python they are called dictionary, things like that. Sets, right? Tables. These kind of data structure you should be just very much good with. And there are a couple of data structure that you really want to crack some interviews. Then priority queue, I have found very use of that data structure, priority queue. And then the try, you should be able to write code around that very easily.
Try. So
not try actually, the dictionary search kind of thing. So if you have those tool set on you, so one of the algorithm I forgot to say is graph algorithms, right?
Yes.
Being able to write BFS and DFS, very simple algorithms, right? But if you really know how to write them, super powerful tool set to solve problems that seems very hard. Usually graph algorithms, it seems very hard, but if you really know how to write DFS, BFS, you can solve most of the problem just by writing BFS, DFS. So those kind of things, and then you have to spend some time to practice. So once you have done all of that, the next thing is that practice. How do you practice? I think in any kind of skill improvement, practicing and continuously practicing is like very hard thing. How do you maintain your schedule? Like people like us who have a full-time job, have a family, then taking out time to practice is super hard.
Super hard. Yes.
So it's not like you cannot find time. It's just that finding time in a way that you can do it is hard. So if you want to do something, you can always find 30 minutes or 1 hour from your schedule. It's just that getting that time, getting motivation to find that time is
motivation.
Hard.
Yes.
So I mean, what we did, like we created a group. Like you were also searching for job, I was also searching for job, and we had another friend who was also searching for job. So we created a group, and then we continuously, once in a while, we used to select a problem, then we used try to solve, and we would learn from each other, right? So that really helped. I think that was one of the most important part of our journey. I feel like.
By the way, he's just saying once in a while, but it wasn't once in a while. For at least 2 or 3 months, constantly, from Monday to Friday, maybe Saturday or Sunday we weren't. Sometimes we were also there on Saturdays. Every day we were trying to practice the algorithms between 9 to 12. Yes. And the whole process, can you just tell the whole process? How do we do it? You pick up question. Just tell. It was a fun process for us.
Yeah, I mean, the way we used to do it, like randomly, like one of us would choose any question randomly. I mean, not having any bias. Okay, I want to practice. We just look at the question set at lead code. Any random number we like, we just pick that number. And then all of us started picking. Start working on that. And if we finish that question, sooner, then we do the same process again. Like one of us choose another random problem.
Random question.
So that way, we are So if we do this randomly, then over a good period of time, we are practicing different set of problems. Right. So that was really fun.
Yes. And another thing you should talk about is we made it fun. Yes. And it was a kind of a small competition between us, and once all of us solves the problem, tell them what did we do and how did we uh, picked each other's brain, yes, and then we find out, oh, there is another way to solve this. Just describe that
I mean,
process.
so there are
Feedback.
always sometime if three of us are working, right?
Mhm.
Like most of the time, one of us have to learn something new because
Mhm.
out of the three, so sometimes not all of us are able to solve the problem. Maybe one or two of us are able to solve the problem, or even if we are able to solve problem, maybe one of the approaches is better approach. And when you are preparing for this competitive, interviews like Amazon, Google, and Facebook, you have to understand every single better approach possible there. And it's not just about one specific problem you're trying to learn that approach. Learning a new approach opens up whole new possibilities of
Yes.
solving different problem with that kind of approach.
A category or umbrella of problem just opens up once you understand an underlying algorithm behind the problem. Yes.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, the way we did was like we share our screen, and one of us whoever have a better approach to solve it would explain us, and then we would try to write it on our own.
Yes.
I mean, it was a way to share our brain, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes. It's like the one analogy or the problem. You find unsorted array. You find a median of medians. Yes. The problem where you have two sorted arrays given, and then you have to find a median. So the interesting Pramod actually found out a way to solve this. All of us knew, but there was a long description given by a lit code, and I tried to read it. I couldn't follow it. And the same thing was with the Ramesh. And then Pramod actually read it and he gave us an explanation how did it work, Once, he explained how the algorithm works, it made it very easy for us to re-implement them, So there are these very fundamental ideas similar to like 2 plus 2 it becomes 4, but there has to be 2 and there has to be an addition and there has to be on another side 2, and then you combine them together and the 4 comes out. So once you understand those an algorithm which is working behind the scenes, it will be very easy for you to grasp the a bigger it would be very easy for us to actually understand the wide variety of problems, and then you can quickly solve them. So I think that's one of the example.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So sometimes one of the thing I have realized, so you see a problem and you see some solution someone, so you vaguely understand the idea what they are doing, like the median of the median. And if you're trying to do order of log n, so we had big idea of okay how this algorithm, right, how this algorithm is trying to solve the problem, but there are certain lines of code it just was not very intuitive to understand, like why you are using something, why you are starting the initial variable value like that. You have a vague idea, but so until you have that clear understanding of every single step, why it is doing from very fundamental perspective, you will struggle every single time. You'll struggle, but once you understand the fundamental idea, then it becomes super easy. Right? So there was an interesting problem. So one of the thing I'd definitely add to in the practice build is, so there was a video. So there is this Chinese guy, I think he has his YouTube video where he's talking about how he's approaching these problems. So there was a lead code hard problem, mostly around game, cat mouse game. So this question seems easy if you think, but when you try to write code, it was not very easy to approach. How do you approach it? So I saw his video, and the way he is approaching this question, it's super easy. But the way he approached, like you have to have that in your toolkit, right? So sometimes just watching videos of people who are solving this problem and they're recording, you can go and they're explaining their thought process. The way we did it, like we were sharing our algorithm process. So if you can find such things, like lots of people are explaining problem how to solve. Going through that also helps,
Yes.
Help. It really helps, like different kind of problems. So I'm pretty sure there are so many different kind of problems. If you give, I mean, all of us, we won't be able to solve it. Like if we have not done it before, unless
Yes.
you are like super smart
Yeah.
competitive
Yes.
programmer or something
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
people like us who have day-to-day job, who are not doing this algorithm stuff in our day-to-day life, we have to explore different set of interesting problems.
Yes. So one thing I want you guys to take away from this is, it's fine, okay? You are not solving this problem in your day-to-day life. There are many jobs out there where you are not actually trying to implement sorting, or you might never have to implement a sorting or this fancy algorithms in your work. And then when you start preparing for these companies, you will be overwhelmed. You will see why these companies are asking this question. They are actually using this knowledge or not. So the another point of view is, yes, they are trying to address some difficult problems. So this is why they have prepared a question where you have to go through this rigorous process of clearing so many several rounds of interview, and then you qualify for the job. Yes. I also have a second view. It's fair for them. It's unfair for us, but the world is not a perfect place. So you have to go through the same process. And uh, if any normal programmer who can actually intuitively think and write a program, then all he has to do is consistently put an effort. Maybe just pick one problem every day, try to solve them, and over the period of time, I think for us it was 3 months, 3 months or 4 months. Yes, even though you are very beginner, it will be, let's say it will be 6 months for you. Yes, keep doing the same stuff, and out at the end of the 6 month period, you will realize, oh, I didn't know that I could solve these problems. You will have this a moment where you will realize, I had something more within me which I didn't knew before 6 months. So just stick to it. Yes, start, pick a problem every day, implement it. You don't understand it, then motivate your friends, work together. And even if you still don't understand, then go to YouTube, and there are various blogs out there. There is so many content out there, and you can understand the problems from so many different point of views. Pick whichever you like and stick to it, and then keep doing it every day. Keep doing it, and sooner or later you will be able to crack many interviews. Yes. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, just
I'd like to add one thing in there. So, I mean, you definitely agree with this. What I have experienced and in my life, and I have seen it repeating in so many people's life, the learning process is not like it goes like a smooth straight line upward. It's usually like very smooth. You keep learning, you don't see any progress, then it jumps like that. I have seen it so many. I have seen in my life, it's like usually what we expect from our activities, that so if I'm putting this much effort, I should see the increment in our result like that. So usually if you put into x-axis and y-axis, the graph should be like with the 45-degree angle. It's not like that. If it is like that over a long period of
it's
time,
ideal.
but in a small period of time, it is like you'll see, okay, over 1 month you don't see any progress. Okay, you're still trying to see a new problem, you don't have any idea how to solve it. But if you keep doing for maybe a couple of 1 more month or 2 months, you'll see on the third month, suddenly on some day, your mind actually picks up the solution. Okay, this is how I am going to solve this problem. So it goes like this. It goes, so every single learning process goes like that. So that is why having patience is very important in any kind of learning process. You have to have patience, and then keep practicing. You'll see the result someday.
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
where
So
were we?
so one thing, and maybe we should talk about it. You can talk about it here if you are. So one thing you told about, that I mean, we have to go through this coding interview.
Yes.
Maybe whether we'll use this in our news job or not, we have to go through this. I mean, one of the reasons is that recruiting is very hard. I have hired people in my company. I have taken interviews. It's very hard. Sometime I give them problem. They are not able to solve it, but I think they can solve it. But you cannot just make decision on that. You have to have some kind of data point, right? So, I mean, they have figured out this as a standard procedure. Maybe in future with crypto credentials, right?
Yes.
This problem will be solved. Maybe crypto credentials is a way to verify you have this kind of skill set or not. But right now, just based on resume, you cannot, right?
Yeah, we are not ready for we are not actually ready where you can randomly pick a person in a crowd and tell them, oh, he can solve these problems. No, you have to
Right.
go through this, and there are so many various gates you have to clear it, and then you can prove someone else that you have a credentials and you qualify for these jobs. So I think one of the reason might be that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like doing lead code kind of problem, but the thing is that we have limited set of time. We have to do so many things in life. The reason we programmer don't like doing this thing over and again is that because we have so many things. We can't just keep doing lead code every single time. We have to change job. It sucks, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, yes. So accept it, you have to go through it. Think about this. Would you be able to change these 200 companies who are doing these processes, and these are very big corporations? No, you don't have any say in this matter. So let's be on the other side. Yes, go into the system, master it, and then maybe one day, if you are some sort of a senior manager recruitment, try to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, probably in next session we'll talk about interview experience and stuff like that. One thing I'd like to say that this practice is not going to get waste. If you are planning to get a better job, better jobs is a lot better salary and stuff like that. Even if you don't get job in FANG companies, there are good startups that don't go as deep as this company into coding problems. But just having a couple of months of practice will enable you to solve simple problem that a lot of companies are testing these days.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As a problem solver, right? They are not going into like super hard problem or medium, super easy problem. They will ask you. That will help. I have been through some startups are not asking this kind of questions, crazy questions that Amazon, Facebook, but they are still paying you
good amount
not
of
at
dollars.
least somewhere around that kind of compensation. So these practice are never going to get waste if you're really interested to work in a better company. So
why don't you summarize from points by points what should they do, and maybe that would be the end of this session.
I mean, first thing first, you have to go back to basics. I mean, it's not just we talked about some of the topics, right? And you can find so many places, you can go so many places, people are talking about it. But basics, go to computer science fundamentals on algorithm, like learn some data structure like array, list, stack, queue, linked list, hash map, priority queue, heaps, this kind of some basic data structure that you'll find in most of the books. One of the book I think I recommend is Introduction to Algorithm by T.S. Corman. I had that book. It is one of the most recommended books. So that book is good one. And then by algorithms, some standard algorithms, those are in the books. But don't just go into this textbook. Okay? You do side by side. Go into learn a topic, go on a lead code, practice, then go to next topic. So that's a fundamental way of doing that. And yeah, I mean, that's the best way to prepare it.
So start with the easy problems.
Interviews, cracking, it's like different problem, but at least to practice, you have to go through this.
So start with easy problems. Don't think that you are a super coder and then start with a hard problem. You will be disappointed. Start with easy problems, slowly climb it, and then stick to it. And the way to stick to the interview process is try to find someone else, create a group, try to make a fun exercise for you guys. Pick each other's brain. Even if you still don't understand, go out in the internet, explore content creators who are creating YouTube videos on the algorithms. Try to follow those people who are actually writing the blogs by describing detailed process behind the scenes, how the algorithm runs, and collect the knowledge. And I think that should be the way to do it. And the last and foremost, we emphasize on this one: stick to the process, guys. You have to put hours in. Without putting an hours in, you wouldn't be able to reap the rewards after 6 months. So put the hours in, and I think that's the best suggestion I think both of us can give here.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. And I mean, you can always leave a comment on this video, and if you have any question about how to approach the process, we can respond to you.
Yeah, sure. And see you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Yes. So now, okay, let me stop this recording.